Okay. Interpret and solve problems involving angles of elevation and depression. So this is 4C. Okay, so what's an angle of elevation or depression? I've got little boy blue here and little girl pink. Little boy blue, if he just looks straight forward, that's what that dotted line is. It's just horizontal with the ground, just him looking off forward. Now, if he was to look up at the girl there, he'd have to tilt his head back or potentially roll his eyeballs, but we're just going to say his eyeballs are fixed to his head with super glue or something for some reason. So he has to tilt his head. The angle that he had to tilt, that angle there is called our angle of elevation because he had to elevate his line of sight. Similar story, just the other way around for the girl. She has to look down at the guy, so she's got a line of sight, she's had to tilt down, whatever that angle she had to tilt down through, that's her angle of depression, which had to depress her head, or her neck, depending on which way you want to look at it. So that's just the terminology with that. These two angles will be numerically the same, but geometrically they have different meanings. One's going up, one's going down, so just be a little bit careful. Cool, alright, most of this section is going to be a whole lot of worded questions, so let's give you a nice annoying one to be more fun for me. Jim, atop building A, can see Kim atop building B. Kim can see Tim atop building C. Jim sees Kim at an angle of depression of 30 degrees. Kim sees Tim at an angle of elevation of 40 degrees. If building A is 250 metres tall and building B is 200 metres tall and building A is 100 metres from building B, building, whoops, that should be B and C. Whoops. Building B is 100 metres from building C. How much taller is building B compared, how much taller is building C compared to building A? There is also an extra assumption I want to put in here that these three buildings are all in a straight line. Cool, okay. So, number one thing whenever you've got a whole lot of words is to simplify it by putting it into picture form. So, we're going to have building A. Isn't that a fantastic building? With Jimmy Boy on the top. Here is Jim. Cool, after that, we need building B. We had an angle of depression, so Jim sees Kim at an angle of depression, so it has to be shorter. So there's building B. Put Kimmy right there. Cool, we also need building C. Kim sees Tim at an angle of elevation of 40 degrees. Did I ever say Tim was atop building C? No, I don't think I did. Oh yeah. Tim is atop building C. Cool. So Kim's looking up at Tim through an angle of 40 degrees. Okay, I'm going to put this up here. Timmy. Okay. Cool. Other information we've got. Say distance between Jim and Kim was unknown, but the distance between Kim and Tim was building B is 100 metres. Cool. We also know this distance because we were told this whole thing was 250, this guy was 200, so this must have been 50. Okie dokie. We've used that, that's everything. Now we're going to draw in our angles. Okay, that's his normal line of sight, angle of depression, 30 degrees. Cool, looking up this way, angle of elevation of 40 degrees. Fantastic, so we've turned all that block of text into a picture. Okay, great, what do we actually want? We want to know that height there, because that's how much taller building C is compared to building A. Okay, fine. And I'll just put this as 50 here, because we've got that from the other side. Great. So this is my actual answer that I'm after. Great. Okay, can we break this down into things that we can actually do and see? Well, it would seem like I've got a triangle there, and then I've got a triangle, meow. Okie dokie. Well, can I get some information out of this stuff? Well, this guy is 50 metres, as shown by that one. So I can take that left triangle and say that's a terrible triangle, but you get the idea. That's 30, This is 50. Okay, well, I would like to know this. Oh, I don't even need that. Great. So if I wanted that distance, I could get it, but I don't even need it. Do I? Was this given as the distance between A and B, or between... It was given as B and C, so we don't even need that. That's fine. Cool, we want this one. Which is 40 here. Cool, and then this is 50 plus, I'll call it A for... Actually, I'll make it capital A for answer. Actually, I'll just put answer. Cool, okay. We know that this was 100 meters. Okay, great. So we want some calculation now. Okay, I've got opposite adjacent, so I've got tan of 40 equals O over A. Cool, so we've got times by 100 minus off the 50, equal answer. You can do that in 2 steps, that's fine. Cool, so that's our answer, which is approximately some terrible number. 40 minus 50 gives me 33.9 ish. Cool. So what's 33.9? That's how much taller C is than A, which is what we were actually asked for. Great. Now it may well have happened instead that we were given. I'm going to change the question now. I'm going to say this is building A is 200 meters from building C. Alright, well now we've got more of a challenge. So, this whole thing is now 200 meters. Okay, can we fiddle around with this a bit more? Well, yes we can. So, everything else is still the same. Now, this time I'm going to need both triangles. So I've got 30 here, 50 here. Okay. We've got an intermediate variable, so I'm going to call this x and y, because I'm so creative. Okay. This distance would now be x. Okie dokie, we want to solve some things. So we've got O and A, so tan again, of 30 equals O, 50 over A is x. Cool, bit of algebra, we're going to have to times by x and then divide by tan 30. Take your time. X equals 50 divided by tan 30. You're always welcome to take as many steps as you need. X roughly equals some terrible number. 50 divided by tan 30. 50 root 3 is 86.6-ish. Roughly. Cool. Alright, well, I need this second triangle to get involved as well now. Cool, we know that x and y together is 200, so if we do 200 minus x, we'll get y. We've got the x there, so we can drop that in. Therefore, y will roughly equal some terrible number, 200 minus last, which is 113,397. 113,397-ish. Okay. Cool. For this triangle, we've got y down the bottom, and over here we've got 50 plus the answer we're actually after, and we've got that angle of 40 degrees. Okay, can we set this up? Well, let's do some algebra first. O and A is tan, so we've got tan 40 equals opposite over adjacent y. Now we know what y is, so we can sub that in, so that's fine. We need to do a bit of algebra. Now rather than putting in this 113 and having a crap number floating around, I'm just going to leave it as y, because it's easier to write y. So, times by y, tan 40 equals 50 plus answer. We don't want the 50, so we'll minus that away. In fact, we'll make that even easier by just doing that. So I've got this, minus 50 equals my answer. Great, and now I can just sub things straight in. So we've got terrible answer times tan of 40 minus the 50 gives us 45.15, etc. Answer roughly equals 45.15, etc. Beautiful, and we're in meters. Done. And if we wanted to for completeness, this is in meters, this is in meters, but that's the part we're actually after. Beautiful. Now, for most of these things, the pain part is going to be converting word to picture. I highly recommend you read the whole thing, then go back and read it line by line and see if you can make a picture out of it, and then just fill in all the gaps. Then I recommend you read it a third time to make sure your picture makes sense with everything in there from go to white. It is very easy to stuff these up. Usually the math isn't the hard part. Usually it's converting the word into the picture. Once you've got the picture, it's usually pretty easy. And that's about it. So that's 4C. Any problems, do give us an email. Otherwise, good luck.